Alright, House of Payne fans, hope everyone's doing well. This will be my episode review for last week's episode, Season 9, Episode 18, Out of Character, which aired November 25th. The guys try to get to the bottom of Ella's unusual behavior. Floyd finds lipstick on the pen and claim it was Ella's. Floyd and Caleb take care of Ella and Curtis. Guys, 1 out of 10, and there is only one reason why this episode even gets a 1, and I'll tell you in just a moment. Before going further in the video, hit the thumbs up button to show you like the video. Hit that subscribe button to help me reach 200,000 subscribers. Hit the bell notification icon and select all. That way you're notified whenever I post content, and follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. This is allegedly the ending of the Ella and Curtis being high phase, and this was easily the worst section of season 9 thus far. This has filler just written all over it, so if there is a season 10, I hope it's not 25 episodes, just because of the fact that it definitely feels like Tyler was stretching things out just to meet an order number. If you know what I mean. Like, this episode, wow. Okay, so Ella and Curtis are still high. They go back into the house and they're on the couch. Curtis tells Ella he's been using a vape pen. Floyd goes to find the vape pen. The only reason I gave this episode a 1 out of 10 is because we found out something about Caleb. Caleb's mother died 2 years ago. That's pretty much the only thing of note in the episode, aside from the fact that before CJ kicks Caleb out and when he goes home, he says that he's going to be calling Caleb's father to tell him about, what Caleb's been up to, because apparently he bought the vape pen and weed mints online. And CJ has no clue. Okay, let me just go over the brief notes, because there are some things that just piss me off. We go over to the next morning, because there are like 2 things that piss me off. Well, actually 3 things. Wow, okay. I was just trying to do a brief synopsis. I read the synopsis at the beginning of the video, but I just want to go over the cliff notes, if you will, about what happened. But yeah, okay. So Ella and Curtis are still high. They go on the couch. Curtis tells Ella he used the vape pen. Floyd goes to find it, and he can't. I think Caleb goes back to find it, and he finds it. Oh, wait, did Floyd find it? I forgot. No, I think Caleb did. Yeah, Caleb did, because he got up from the couch, and Ella was like, "Who that?" And basically, he finds it, and the whole vape pen is completely empty. Floyd looks at it, notices the lipstick, and it's like, did Ella finish it off? But then we find out that no, when she picked up the vape pen, she sniffed it, and apparently when she had it that close to her lips or her face, her makeup got on it, or her lipstick got on it. So yeah, then we go over to the next morning. So like SpongeBob, the next day, it looks like Ella and Curtis have both come down from their high. They're pretty much, talking about it. And she asks why Curtis did it. Curiosity. He just wanted to see why the kids are doing it. And it literally turns into a PSA at that point. And then Floyd apparently took the weed mints and locks Ella out of the house, in the backyard, while, him and Curtis are like, want to take the mints? I don't know. And that's the end of the episode. Let me talk about all the things I didn't like. CJ being as clueless about why Ella is acting the way she is. Okay. It's worse for Ella not realizing something is seriously wrong with Curtis, considering she works with the teens and apparently knows all about the drugs. CJ, you have seen your Uncle Loopy for the past episode and a half now. Ella's acting the same way, and you don't realize what's going on. I mean, I think even Caleb kind of joked around about it. Oh, they must be high. Don't even joke about that. Well, she acting strange. She acting funny. And it's like, how do you not realize? Okay. All right. So you got the whole situation of CJ just being oblivious as to why Ella's acting damn near exactly like Curtis. Another thing, I'm no expert in this, but Caleb is sent home. Floyd and CJ leave, and I'm like, because Floyd just wanted to see how things would turn out because he was interested to see how loopy they were acting. But again, I'm no expert in this, but is it a good idea to leave two, I don't even want to say elderly, but two retired age family members of all people alone in their house while they're coming down from that? Even Caleb is like, oh, you're going to be hot for a long time because you took that whole pen, and then, she took a couple minutes. Nobody should have been on watch there. I mean, hell, even the synopsis said Floyd and Caleb take care of Ella and Curtis. They were just kind of there. They found the vape pen, and then they were able to find out, who took what drugs and how much. That's pretty much it. So I'm like, not CJ didn't think it would be a good idea to have somebody there on watch, Calvin or somebody like that. I mean, you would think that as a way to give more character growth to the I guess you could say a nod to Janine being high in a good light, the fact that she was an addict, so she knows how to come down, the process of coming down from a high. So you don't think Janine should have been made aware of this to maybe have CJ and Janine over there? Of course, Curtis may have joked and everything so at Ella, but maybe that could have been a great moment to kind of wrap up the Janine addiction line by saying, hey, I can see Curtis now. You know what, Janine? I'm sorry. I understand what you're going through now. And it's like, it would have been bad for Curtis to do something like that out of stupidity by, taking the vape pen. But at the same time, it could have been a good moment to have Janine, kind of brought back into the family even more than she is now, based on the fact that her aunt and uncles, especially the critical uncle, now understands why she was the way she was. Maybe not fully, but I can't say that him hitting an entire vape pen is the same as her going through a serious addiction. But I think that this could have been a great way to make a continuity nod at Janine's addiction, but not in a comedic way. So I think that could have been, maybe I'll do a separate video sometime going over the entire Curtis and Ella being high arc, if you will. But I just wanted to mention it in the video because it could have been something that could have been used, positively to give more substance to this dry 3-episode arc. 4 if you want to count the scene where, CJ left the vape pen and weed mints over at Curtis's house and he first took that hit. Is that a rabbit? But I don't really like what they were doing with this episode. It's like, you can't have it the next morning. It's like, Curtis, we ain't doing them drugs no more. I ain't taking no more minutes. It's like, no, you can't do that. You can't give us a PSA at the end of a 3-episode, oh, we're high as kites, because of the fact that you can't have Ella able to sniff out marijuana by having a vape pen next to her face when she's over at CJ and Janine's house. But then as soon as a weed mint touches her tongue, she isn't able to taste the weed. How the hell does that make any sense? So yeah, 1 out of 10. This episode was not good at all. Like I said, the only things I like were the whole Caleb. I'm not happy about him losing his mother, but at least we maybe understand. I mean, I'm not saying that his mother dying is an excuse, but who's to say that maybe his mother wasn't someone who was kind of, holding him and his father together, like maybe after the mother died, his father, the pastor, became more involved with the church, as a way to kind of cope, kind of trying to shepherd the flock and the other kids, but pretty much neglecting his own son who's out here buying drugs and selling them. And remember, Floyd had the number. Everybody knows Caleb. So damn near everyone seems to be aware of Caleb's activities on the streets, but his father, either that or his father doesn't care. I mean, there's so much they could do. I mean, remember, we still have about 7 episodes left, so there's that aspect of it. But I just wasn't pleased with this episode, and I've said this several times in my assisted living videos, but I've actually been rooting for assisted living more than House of Payne. I'm not saying that assisted living has been 10 out of 10 each week. I gave last week's episode a 4 out of 10, but that was out of, goodness. So check out my review for that, and you'll see that I pretty much had nothing but positive things to say about assisted living. I'm not saying that it's a show that you should like binge or watch in its entirety, but it's gotten better. If you've watched every episode, then you know assisted living has been getting steadily better. Whereas House of Payne, I think what makes House of Payne worse is the fact that we have all of our beloved characters back, but they're acting extremely, as the title says, out of character. Now, if I were to judge this episode strictly out of character, if I were to judge this episode strictly based on the episode title, this would be a 10 out of 10 because this episode embodied out of character. However, these characters have been acting out of character since episode 1 of season 9. CJ not recognizing that. I'm done. I could sit up here and rant. I don't want to do that because I'm about to do my sister review after this. Cause I took care of assisted living. I'm about to finish up House of Payne here. Then I'm going to watch Ruthless and get those reviews done too. But House of Payne has just been disappointing me time and time again. I'm about to do my episode preview for The Package, the one coming up this week, and everybody's excited about my thoughts on that. We'll have to wait and see. So thanks a lot, guys. Well, I guess this means that I don't think there's a chance that CJ is going to entertain the idea anymore of having Caleb over for dinner, because I'm not saying Caleb is a saint, no pun intended, but CJ should not be mad at him because, number one, he's the one that left the vape pen and weed mints over at Curtis and Ella's house. Those two are grown adults, whether or not they act like it is suspect. But for Kurt, I know Curtis like, I'm retired, but to just hit the vape pen out of curiosity, come on, whatever. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. What do you think of the episode? I gave it a 1 out of 10. Do you agree? Am I being too harsh? Do you think it should be in the negatives? Let me know. Like I said before, please like and subscribe to the video. Shout out to the patrons over on Patreon. You can join in for as little as $1 a month. Or if you just want to make a direct donation to the channel, feel free to do so on PayPal or Cash App.